Being a Broadway performer is pretty cool.
And a lot of hard work.
Getting there is even harder.
We're going to tell you all about it.
I'm Adrienne Walker.
And I'm Austin Cook.
Welcome to 32 Bar Cut. Welcome to Broadway Banter on 32 Bar Cut. I'm Adrienne Walker.
And I'm Austin Cook.
And today we are talking about online video submissions.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the season is ripe for a good video audition. And with the, I don't know what you want to call it, the aftermath, but we're still kind of in it, of COVID-19, it is good to know how to do an online video submission. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of comments, I've been seeing a lot of comments about submissions and sometimes Hamilton submissions and other shows. And so we just kind of want to do a quick video just to kind of talk about it, because there seems to be some confusion about what you should do.
Yeah.
So we're just going to kind of break it down, bare bones, just to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Hopefully this is just a confirmation of everything you've already been doing.
Yes. Now I did a video a few months back on self-tape. So if you watch that, you're going to hear some of the same information, but it's always good to hear the details just to make sure that you're doing everything right. So firstly, you got an online audition. Yay. Congratulations. This is awesome. This is amazing. Congrats to you. You're going to kill it. Now, how do you make sure that you stand out, that your video looks good, the sound quality is great, lighting, all that? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. 1, do what they ask. Do the audition they ask for. If they ask for everyone to sing a specific song, that's the song you need to sing, whether you know it or not, whether you like the song or not. That's the song that they've chosen that they want everyone to sing. If they said they want you to sing in a certain style, sing in a certain style. Make sure that it's spot on. Don't do it your way. Do the style that they're asking for. If they ask you not to sing something from the show, guess what? Don't sing anything from the show. Even if you slay it, save it for the callback. Do not sing anything from the show. What else?
Do what they ask.
Do what they ask.
You are not the exception.
You are not the exception.
You're not.
You are not the casting director.
No.
Do what they ask. That is the most important advice that you will hear today for online submissions. You're not in the room. You're not there. You can't charm them with your smile or your wit or a funny joke. They're looking at you on a video, and if you don't do what they ask, they've already put it in the trash because they're like, this person can't follow instructions.
That's right. Online video submissions. Let's talk a little bit about the hierarchy of how this works. When you submit an audition online, it's not going from your audition straight to Lin-Manuel Miranda who's looking at the video. No. That's not how it works. You're going from, that's like 1 to 10. You're going from submitting it to an assistant who just, their job.
An intern, maybe.
An intern. It's going to be an intern, almost definitely. Mm-hmm. Someone whose only job is to just sift through the hundreds of emails, which are just submissions, cold calls. So number one, that intern is just looking for, did they follow instructions? Okay, what did they look like? Here's their headshot. I'm putting them in the 20s, blah, blah category. There might be able to be this, blah, blah, blah. Let me take a quick listen. Do they sound crazy? They look crazy. This is not. This is a no. And that intern is making the decision on your fate, your future. Okay? So you're not even in front of casting at that point. So you have to think of this a little bit differently, maybe. Put yourself in their shoes. We're going to talk about the stuff that's in your control when you submit this audition. So just remember, the first person that's going to see this is just an intern. Someone at the very bottom whose job it is to sift through all this stuff.
Yep.
Okay? So you got to get it past them first. So that's why you're not special. Okay, you may think that, if only Lynn saw me do this performance, he's going to love it. I know he will.
That may be
because
true,
on Lynn's Instagram, he says this is his favorite song. But it's not going to get that far. You just got to get past, can you follow rules?
Lynn may love you if he sees you, but we're just saying he's probably not going to get a chance to see your video audition.
Well, there's no probably not. He's not. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the things that we submit for this video.
Yeah.
Number one, let's just start with a headshot.
Yeah. So the headshot, you want your headshot to look like you. It should be a great representation of you. And, a lot of folks, when we get our headshots, we do different styles, right? You got the Law and Order shot, and you got the hi, girl next door shot, or you got the mom shot if you're, going in for mom roles, or you got the ingenue shot. I've just named a bunch of women, but male roles too. You've got the leading man shot. You've got the quirky friend shot. So depending on what role you want in this production, send the right headshot. Start there.
That's right. And don't, with headshots, this is not your opinion, okay? You need, ideally, if you're me, send the headshot that the casting is going to want to see, not what's your favorite shot because you think your left cheek looks good in this shot. You got to think a little bit more objectively about yourself.
Yeah.
What you have to offer. Is this right for the role? Think of it from casting's perspective.
What's your strong suit?
Because I have seen from behind the desk many headshots slide across the desk that look crazy. I'm sorry, they just look crazy. Why did you use that headshot? It's like not a good picture of you. And I'm sure the reason is because some certain weird thing, like, well, I thought my eye looked good in this picture. I thought my teeth looked nice in this picture. But there's other things that look obviously crazy about this picture. You got to be a little more objective about what a good picture is. It's starting with the photographer. When you get your headshots done, use the best. Save the money. Cut out other things that you were going to buy and spend money on headshots because headshots are so crucial because you're putting you in lineups, especially now that it's online. I'm casting a show right now for a Broadway show, and everything we're looking at is online. I see all of these, for instance, I'm looking at men who are all 20s to 30s men, and they're all white for this particular role. All of these men are up on my screen. If they have a crazy headshot, I'm going to be like, what's going on here? But you want the headshot to look like
And you
them.
had 30 you had to look at?
Yeah, 30
and
or
that's
more.
Small potatoes. Usually in these casting calls, they're looking at hundreds, if not thousands of submissions.
Yeah,
So you want to make sure your headshot doesn't look crazy.
The headshot's important. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. You may think that it's just a photo of yourself. It's not. It's very important. It needs to look good. It needs to look engaging. We need to connect with you. Good photographers know how to do that. That's why you're paying them the big money to get the great headshot. So just do it.
Next, your resume. Your resume should be up to industry standard. I did a video a few months back where I talked about my resume not being up to industry standard, and a manager schooled me and got me right together. So just take a look at some agency websites, look at their roster, look at their resumes of their talent, and fashion yours in that way. And the standard look should be for a TV film actor. You should just have it very bare bones, nothing fancy, no fancy script, and keep it that way.
Yeah, don't try to show your personality on the resume and your art design skills. Okay, keep it exactly industry standard. If you don't know what that is, you're going to Google. You're going to go to agencies, like big agencies. You're going to see who they represent. You're going to look at their resumes. Just Google resumes. Okay, you'll see what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. Make it look good.
Make it look good. It should look very business-like. I think for me, mine was all a mess because I'm like, I'm creative. I want to, no crazy fonts, no swirls or swivels for your name or anything like that. Just basic. Here's the information. Let your headshot tell the story.
That's great advice. So now let's talk about the audition itself. So now you're going to have the great headshot, you're going to have the great resume, and you're going to follow instructions. That's what we have so far.
Yes.
Next, you need to actually do the audition. So let's talk a little bit about tech.
Okay, let's talk tech. So you're going to need a few key components to make sure that your audition is top notch. And so you're going to need sound, lighting, and a background that looks decent and not distracting. And there's one other thing. And an accompaniment. They don't want an a cappella.
If this is musical theater.
If this is musical theater, no one wants to see an a cappella submission. So you'll have to figure out what
Unless they ask for it.
Unless they ask for it. Yes. On top of everything that we're saying, if they ask for something that contradicts what we're saying, always do what they ask for. Always. But you're going to want to find an accompaniment, whether you get someone to play it for you, lay it down for you, or you find a karaoke track. A karaoke track is definitely last on the list. You don't want a karaoke track unless you have to, but it is possible. And so those are the key components we're going to talk about.
The key with tech is nothing distracting.
Yeah.
If you're you need to look at these things as you're setting up the camera. If the lighting looks crazy, if it looks dark, if it looks washed out, if it looks like a crazy spotlight.
Don't shoot behind a window.
If it's backlit,
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just make it clean. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Hollywood studio lighting.
Yeah.
Just not distracting is the key.
And if you're using a backdrop, make sure it's not wrinkled. Things like that really irk casting directors. I've heard them say it before.
Yes.
Just make, like, anything you can do to make this audition look pristine as if you were in their office, do that.
Just no distractions. It's okay if you don't have the backdrop, then just use your wall or something.
Yeah.
And it's okay if there's a picture frame or something in view. It's okay. Just don't make it distracting. If it's a picture frame of some crazy artwork that has some nudity in it, that might be, maybe that's not the right choice.
Yeah.
Everything should be professional, tasteful, and not distracting.
Turn the AC off. Like little things like that that you just don't think of. Just have a nice baseline.
Make sure you don't clip. If you don't know what clipping is when you record sound, that just means the gain is too high and it's actually creating some clipping. You need to make sure that when you sing, that it's not overdriving the microphone, that it's not clipping. If you're using your iPhone mic,
It's gonna clip.
it can tend to sound pretty bad. So get a cheap mic. We'll link to some stuff in the bio section. Get a Yeti mic, some cheap USB mic. Get something just to record. You have control over the gain, just to make it a little bit better. Because again, you want to sound not crazy. You want to sound good.
You want them to be able to hear you. You've got this beautiful voice. You want to have a good audition. And if you're clipping all over the place, they're really not going to be able to watch the whole audition.
Do not add reverb or any special effects.
No.
Just submit it raw.
Yeah.
And as far as the track is concerned, if you're doing a musical theater audition or piano accompaniment, just make sure that they're not overpowering. Keep it in the background. All they're really wanting to hear is your voice. They don't need to hear the effect of the accompaniment like when they're listening to the album. Mm-hmm. We don't need that. Just make sure the voice is prominent, that it sounds good, that it's tasteful.
Can you speak on a little bit about, for us, we're in this room with a lot of hard walls. Is there any way people can make the sound a little better in their rooms?
Absolutely. When dealing with sound, if you see a lot of hard surfaces, so you have a wood floor, a hard ceiling, and the walls are kind of bare and square, you're going to get a lot of reflections. And the more reflections you get, the more reverb or room noise you're going to hear, and it's going to be a little distracting. So same if you're recording in the bathroom, it's going to be super echoey and a lot. You don't want that. So the way to diffuse sound is with maybe a comforter or some sheets. Mm-hmm. If you hang those up where the camera can't see, or put a big comforter, just drape a comforter somewhere over the couch where you're going to be, or something to absorb that sound, you're going to find that that's really helpful.
And for the camera, because we didn't touch on that, I use an iPhone for all of my video auditions, whether it's TV and film or for musical theater auditions. And it's been really helpful, but the mic is not great. And so I use an external Shure mic for any time that I have to have good sound. I even use it for my TV and film auditions because it's very sensitive and I can be very nuanced with my auditions. So we'll put a link down below if you're interested in that. It is a little on the pricier side, so it's not a cheap fix. There are also lapel mics that you can hook up to your iPhone. I haven't used one, but I know of people that do, and so that is an option for musical theater auditions. I wouldn't suggest using a lapel mic for TV and film auditions just because it kind of distracts from your overall look, but sometimes casting directors don't really mind. So it's kind of up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah. The mic thing, you don't have to get crazy with it. Don't overthink it. It's just about making sure that's not too distracting.
Yeah.
If you only do a handful of auditions in a year, you don't need to buy stuff. But we're really talking if you're doing this every day, 3 times a day, lots of auditions, you may want to just upgrade your setup a little bit.
And even if, I think the most important thing might be lighting and sound, really.
Yeah.
So lighting is something we should talk a little bit about. We have a ring light, but we also have a lighting kit. So we use a combination of those two to create a lighting for my auditions. And so we'll drop links down below for you to check that out. You can check out the price point for those things. But you just want to make sure they can see you. They can see your face. So even if you have a lamp in your house that you can put up and just maybe make a 3-point tier with it, or 3-point, I don't know what I'm saying, but just make 3 points with 3 different lights so that you don't get a shadow behind you.
Yeah, that's a real quick basics on lighting is you're going to have your ring light or some main source of light, obviously in front of you to light your face.
Yeah.
But then that's going to create shadows in the background, which you don't want. They're very distracting. Again, we're talking about reducing distraction. So then what photographers will do is they'll actually light the backdrop. So you'll have bigger spread lights, or you'll have some other lighting source that's lighting, not her. They're not focused at her. They're actually lighting behind to create a nice, clean background. So you have a front light, and then a lot of times for depth, you'll get a spill light or a side light too. But that, I don't want to overcomplicate it. But just think in terms of like a photographer would when lighting. You don't just want a hard light in front because you're going to create shadows and it's going to look crazy. So you need to.
And you don't want shadows. You might think, oh, it's not a big deal, but it is a kind of a big deal. You don't want shadows.
Just because it's distracting.
Yeah.
When casting directors or the team, when I see videos, you're just looking for something kind of boring as far as not the performance, but everything else. You just want it to be not distracting. You're just trying to focus on what this talent has to offer. It's that simple. You don't want to think about their dog or their camera or that shelf or like, why didn't they iron that or like all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to make it look clean, do it. If it means moving a dresser out the way or a plant out the way, just do it.
So you did the audition, you killed it, you made sure that it's professional, you did the best take that you can do.
Yeah.
You prepared all of that stuff, you've done it. Now we need to edit the video. The biggest advice here for editing, don't do anything. Just keep it boring.
Just
trim the
crop it.
Crop it. Where the intro starts, start. Don't put a bunch of stuff before. Just right where the intro starts, start. And when you're done, when you're out of the scene, clip it. Now, can you do transition effects? Really cool thing? No.
No.
Can you
don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. I promise you.
Don't do anything.
They don't want to see,
they don't want to see
any of this fancy stuff.
They don't want to know that you doctored it or any of that. Can you put a lower third in? Do you know what a lower third is? A lower third is a graphic that comes in the lower third portion of the screen. A lower third you could add if you wanted to say, my name is Austin Cook. This role, I'm auditioning for this role in this show or whatever. You can have
you can
that.
say Austin Cook, Jerry Lee, and that's it. Or something like that.
You can put that in. Again, don't do cool transition effects. Whoa, 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 whoa.
No.
Don't, all that stuff, get rid of all that. Just to clean, it just fades in, it fades out.
No backgrounds, no like, transition pages with a background and anything like a title page. None of that.
No green screen, no nothing. Keep it boring.
Yes.
Okay, keep it really boring. Again, you just want it simple.
Yes.
For casting, to not be distracted.
And for any of you that have like a really great mic setup and you're like, I want them to really hear me, I'm going to have my mic in the frame. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Do not put a microphone in the frame.
No.
That's a no.
Yeah.
Just your body, just your performance.
And for a musical theater audition, as far as framing, for a TV and film audition, you would probably just do chest up or shoulders up and to the very top of your head, no space above. But for a musical theater audition, you really want to show a lot more of your body. So I would suggest doing waist up so they can see your arms emote or anything you're planning on doing with your performance like that. But then also just to the top of your head, no space above.
And remember landscape. Always landscape.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Always landscape.
Do never portrait. If you don't know what I mean, if it's up and down vertical video, that's bad. Yeah. But you want it to be landscape, which is the horizontal.
Absolutely.
16 by 9.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else do we want to cover?
I think that's most of it.
So the editing. Yeah. So if you want to put all your videos together, like say you're doing a song and a couple of sides and a song of your choice or something like that, and you want to put it all in one video, the easiest thing is to hop on iMovie or any kind of editing software that doesn't require a lot of skill and just put them together, crop them how Austin said, and run it, what do you call it? And render it. And that will be your submission. And the order is whatever order they ask for. If they don't ask for a specific order, I would go songs, then sides.
Your strongest thing first.
Strongest thing first, yeah.
Because they're probably only going to watch the first 10 seconds or so.
Yeah.
They rarely watch the whole thing. They just kind of get an idea of what you have to offer, your look. And that's probably another thing to keep in mind. We say it a lot on this channel, but remember the first thing they're looking at is
appearance.
Does this person, do they look like what I envisioned as the character? Okay, great. They may not even watch the audition if they know right away that you're not going to get cast because of whatever reason. They can just tell because of maybe your counterpart to the role. It has to be something, or you have a child that has to look like this. Anyway, who cares?
Yeah.
The point is that your look is most important. Then the quality of the audition and your song. Can you sing? Can you do the sides, the acting, and all of that stuff?
And I would say too, because we didn't touch on this, but you just saying that reminded me that you want to look the part. Don't put on a costume or anything like that, but you definitely want to dress as if you were in the audition. So don't slum it just because you're shooting from inside your house. If your role requires a little bit of makeup, put some makeup on. But do remember that this is a film medium. So too much makeup is not going to look great on camera. You're definitely going to want to put on less makeup than you would if you were going in the room in front of casting.
Exactly. Now, when you submit it, so you've got the finished video, you need to submit it, you're just going to follow their instructions. Almost always they're going to have their own upload link. You're going to upload the video, done. If you need to email it, you can email it via WeTransfer. If you go to WeTransfer.com, we're not sponsored. This is not a sponsored plug.
No, it's just something we use all the time.
WeTransfer.com is a free way to send up to 2 gigs.
I think it's 2 gigs, yeah.
I think
2
it's 2
gigs for
gigs.
free. If you get a membership, it's 5 gigs.
Yeah, anyway.
Is it something like
it's
that?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But for free. So you just send that and it sends large video files.
Yeah.
So you can do that for free. Or Dropbox is another way. A lot of times people use Dropbox. So
you can also create a Vimeo account and upload your video to Vimeo, set it as private, and then share it via private link. Yes. So that's also another option. But with submissions like this, I think your best bet is to do Dropbox or WeTransfer.
Yeah, but most of the time, again, you're just gonna follow the instructions on the site for delivery. If you have any questions on online video submissions, about specifics, anything we talked about, you have a question about, please let us know. We're always here to answer your questions. I did want to say one more thing. As somebody who watches these auditions, so I have, for a show I'm working on right now, I've been watching online submissions. So I think it's helpful to kind of give my perspective on what I think when I see these things. It's all the things we just talked about, but please remember that we are looking for a specific thing, and most important is, do you fit that specific thing? Do you have the right look? Do you have the timbre of voice that I imagine? I can pretty much know in 3 seconds. It's just if you're right or not, or if I'll keep listening. So there's a lot of stuff out of your control. So don't be hard on yourself if you're not hearing back from online submissions. It's just a numbers game. You got to keep putting yourself out there, put yourself out there, put yourself out there, put yourself out there. And maybe after doing 100, you'll get the one callback or the one thing.
I mean, Austin, he knows this because he's on the other side of it. I know this because I'm on your side of it. And I mean, just this year, I want to say I've done at least 100 auditions and I've booked 2. Yeah. So this is the life. Buckle up, enjoy the ride, enjoy the audition, make it flawless. Remember that they're looking at thousands of submissions. So don't, have something crazy going on in the background and be the reason why you don't get seen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a subscriber spotlight.
Oh, yes, a subscriber spotlight. So today's subscriber spotlight is
Jeffrey Coe.
Jeffrey Coe, thank you so much for being a subscriber, and thank you to all of our subscribers.
Absolutely. We love you guys. We appreciate your support, and we love engaging with you every week and answering your questions and reading your comments. So this spotlight goes to Jeffrey Coe. And we'll do a spotlight every week. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Comment down below if you have any questions for us. And subscribe if you're enjoying our content and you've been rocking with us for a while. And I think that's
it for today.
See you later.
Bye.